Good morning, dreamers. How are you today? Today is a good day for a good day. Sometimes you pick the closest mug and it happens to have the right words on it. Oh man, much is going through my head. It was a very busy weekend, and I did hit my wall at one point, and I heard myself just performance talking. And it was, I got to make sure everybody thinks I'm okay. I got to do this. I got to do this. Got to do this. And there's just so much to do that I got to pretend everything's good. Because if I stop talking, the truth might come out. Right? Like the fact that I'm overwhelmed right now. I'm overwhelmed. And then because I didn't name it and own it, I was very overwhelmed on Sunday, and very little bumps in the road became massive. They weren't uphill bumps, they were downhill potholes. And everything ended up working out okay. Everything did. But I was talking with my children and I said, when we get overwhelmed, when we get stressed, our depression or anxieties or whatever they may be, the feelings within us often come out as anger. And we're not really angry. We're just overwhelmed. There's just too much on our plate. And I had to make things right with someone very special. And he said, this is a situation where we need to give each other a hug. And that was great. We hugged it out and we were fine. And he was so gracious and forgiving. And I needed to extend grace and forgiveness as well. But I was listening to, it's a podcast called the Homecoming Podcast with Dr. Thema. And Dr. Thema is an amazing doctor. She is a mental health practitioner. I don't know whether she's a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I think it's psychologist. But she is a professional mental health practitioner. She also is an artist and a minister, like a pastor. Like, she's a theologian. And she's such a beautiful spirit. And her podcast called Homecoming is all about coming home to who you are. Because when you're authentic with yourself, you can grow and you can learn and you can become more of who you've been meant to be, right? As soon as you say, that's just how I am, you're taking away all opportunity to grow and be better. And so when I get really, really low, I listen to her because she's going to name it and she's going to help me name it. And I have a professional therapist, and I have friends in psychology. But when I go to her podcast, it's just like a quick little tune-up, if you will. It's like getting your oil changed at Take 5 oil change rather than going to the dealer to get your oil changed. You know what I mean? And I listened to one of her casts about something called a sacred no. And it is how we honor our Creator by saying no. Even to things we've already committed to. Because when I get very depressed, I get very high functioning depressive. Okay, extremely high functioning. I will do this. I will go. I've said yes to all of this, so now I have to follow through. And she said to honor your Creator, sometimes you have to honor the commitment by going back on it. And it is a holy and sacred no. You just have to do it properly and do it well. And I thought, wow. And so this morning on my walk, there was another one, and it was talking about, you're going to find this ironic, I know, but how to combat unhealthy attention seeking, always having to be the center of attention. And I thought, yeah, I do that especially when I'm depressed. When I'm owning the room, and not owning it, but buying it, and not letting anyone else have a share of the room, it's because something else is going on and I don't want you to see it. So I'm going to put on a show so I don't actually have to talk to you about the pain. And last night, Jimmy was owning the room. I think it was in a positive way. It wasn't a mom way. And I walked over to someone at the back of the room. I sat down with her, and we share a similar experience as moms. And I said, hey, were you as overwhelmed this week as I was? She's like, yeah. I said, okay. It wasn't my imagination? No. I said, how you holding up? Not good. And so we were just as able to discuss some things. And we were both close to tears, but we were able to just be authentic. And I don't know how she was, but I know I grew by being able to speak into the situation and have my authentic self seen. Not having to have the shield up constantly. And it's usually a mama bear shield in defense of my children. And I have to stop making assumptions about how other people view them. I have to just let them navigate the world that they've been given. And they've been called to something very, very special. As queer kids, they've been called to something really special. And I have to let them navigate that. I just have to teach them how to navigate it with respect and honor. And it's not everybody's against you if they're not right there for you, chanting and holding signs. And so I was able to lay my shield down for a little bit. And I praise God for friends where that can happen. So I'm just sharing my experience, not to overrun you today, but to say if there's something you need to own, if there is a sacred no you need to speak, speak it. If there is a shield that needs to be set down, and a new understanding of how to get true, authentic connection rather than unhealthy attention seeking, go for it. Do it. Because you're worth it. You are worth it. The cookies are calling. I better go so they have nice warm cookies for their lunches. Anyway, I will talk with you later. And I just hope you have some sweet dreams. But check out Dr. Thema's podcast, please, because it's amazing. And she does a much better job than me. But hey, she's a professional, right? Have some sweet dreams. Bye.